How many of you have arrived at Victoria's International Airport and the doors open out to a parking lot and you come out and you go, oh, I'm home, I feel fantastic. Hey, how many people, right? Well, there's a reason for that. And it's not just that you've arrived home. There's something special about Victoria that actually most people don't even know about. Now, who remembers Bionaire air filters? Yeah. Remember those things? They were around for everywhere, and they're still around. They don't look like this, but I purposely went and got an old one. Back in the 70s, I was hired by Bionaire. I used to live in Montreal, and Bionaire is a Montreal company. And I was hired by Bionaire to overcome a problem that they had marketing this machine. Because not only was it a filter, but it had in there a negative ion generator. Now, what is a negative ion generator? Well, it was a little emitter that was electrical emitter there that emitted negative ions. And negative ions, in an abundance, what they did to dust was that they charged them. The negative ions would gravitate to dust, would gravitate to the negative ions, and they would clump together and they would literally float to the floor. So they weren't just filtering the air, they were actually charging the air. And the things that we don't realize is that our human condition has been evolving for millions of years in an ion atmosphere, positive and negative. All around us there's about 2,000 ions to every square millimeter. I mean, it's irrelevant. But the fact is, it's kind of balanced. A little more to the positive side of the spectrum. So for every 5 positive electrons, there would be ions, there would be 4 negative ions. They only discovered this fact in the 1800s, that in fact there are these electrical charges all around us. And they're very important, because in Russia they did an experiment when they started really understanding this. They put animals, small rats, birds, in environments that had no ions. Had oxygen and all the things that you think we need for life, but no ions. They died. That's how important they are to all the organisms that live on the planet. And we respond very well to an abundance of negative ions. Over the years, they've probably got close to 5,000 papers, studies that have shown that we respond very positively to negative ions. That was the marketing dilemma I had. How do you make something negative? Now, the only place that in the last number of years where negative has become a good thing is AIDS. You want to be negative with AIDS, you don't want to be positive with AIDS. But otherwise, at the time, there was none of that. So how do you make something negative? We never did crack that, because you can't get that beyond people's head. But negative ions are unbelievably beneficial for us. Now, what makes Victoria special? Well, the largest negative ion generator in the world is Niagara Falls. Because in nature, when water particles pass through air with friction, they create negative ions. So at Niagara Falls, there's 1,000 times more negative ions in the air than there is anywhere else on the planet. You remember probably hearing Niagara Falls as a honeymoon heaven. People go there, oh dear, I guess I'm married, and blah, blah, blah. Well, that's the reason why. They're actually being drugged by the negative ions. Well, guess what? Here's my artwork.
Looks like it's the
Drew that this morning. We have North America, and we have our little island where we hang out at the bottom. Well, between Hawaii and where we are, there's about 10,000 miles of ocean. And all the weather system is moving towards us. And every white cap is creating negative ions. So we just, it washes over us, and we say, I mean, the people stand on the inner harbor and they're going, ga, ga, ga. They don't know why Victoria is so beautiful. Well, it is a beautiful city from an artistic standpoint, from a visual standpoint. But there is a really subtle agenda going on underneath, and it is called the ion effect. So, Victorians, you accidentally ended up here, or on purpose, but you were in the place, because by the time that negative ions pass over us, the friction of the dry air, and by the way, an abundance of positive ions, accidents are up, divorces are up. What causes it? Dry airs. The Chinooks, the Santa Anas, the Fun, all these famous winds, they don't perform operations in certain places in Europe because of the positive ion intensity. They know they put on extra police, there's domestic violence, all that kind of stuff happens. We don't have that problem. We have an abundance of negative ions, and it's because we live next to this amazing negative ion generator called the Pacific Ocean. So the next time you open those doors in the airport and you go, know that you are filling your lungs with clean air, but also you're being washed in a huge dose